You're in bed. The light is low or gone. The day is technically over, but your mind hasn't got the message yet. Your eyes might feel a little sore from the last screen you looked at. Maybe you told yourself you'd stop an hour ago. Maybe you've already tried scrolling, or a breathing app, or just one more article before ending up here, in this exact moment, wondering if this will be any different. It's been a lot, maybe not one huge thing, just a stack of small ones. Messages unanswered, things you said and wish you'd said differently, things you didn't say at all. The stuff you're trying not to think about is exactly what shows up the second the room gets quiet. And still, here you are, lying down, phone or speaker nearby. You pressed play. That's already more than nothing. That's you, doing the best you can with the energy you have left tonight. You don't have to impress anyone now. There's no test to pass. You don't need to be good at relaxing or good at sleep. You're already doing the only thing that matters for this. You're here, horizontal, listening with whatever attention you have. So here's the deal between us tonight. I'll keep talking in a soft, steady way. Your job is simply to lie there. You don't have to follow every word. You don't have to remember anything. If your thoughts wander off in the middle of a sentence, that's fine. If you drift in and out, catching only bits and pieces, that's fine too. Sleep doesn't have to arrive on cue. If you stay awake longer than you hoped, but the edges of the day feel a little softer, that still counts. If you notice you've missed whole stretches because your mind floated somewhere else, that counts as well. There isn't a wrong way to be here. For now, nothing needs to be fixed. We're not solving tomorrow. We're not rewriting today. We're just going to stay close to what's already true, in this room, in this body, on this bed. Start with something simple, the way your head is resting on the pillow. You might notice the exact place where the weight settles, the back of the skull, maybe one side more than the other, the pillow rising up to meet it, holding it without asking for anything back. Then the mattress, how it meets your shoulders, your back, your hips. There's a quiet conversation happening there between your weight and the surface underneath you. The bed gives a little and then holds. It keeps holding without you needing to manage it. Notice the fabric against your skin, the sheet over your legs or tucked around your feet, the way your clothing or your pajamas lie against your body. Some places feel warmer, where fabric and skin and blanket all touch. Other places feel cooler, maybe where a hand or an ankle is out in the open air. The air itself has a feeling. Maybe it's a bit cool on your face, on the tip of your nose, along your neck. Maybe it's warmer, still carrying a bit of the day. You don't have to decide if it's comfortable. Just notice that it's there, touching you in a way you usually ignore. Your shoulders might still be holding something from earlier. That slight lift, that quiet bracing you've been doing all day without noticing. See if you can simply become aware of where they are, high or low, tight or loose. There's nothing to fix about it. Just noticing is enough. Bring your attention gently to your hands. Where are they resting? On your chest, your stomach, by your sides, tucked under a pillow. Feel the shape of each finger, the curve of the palm, the small warmth where skin meets skin or skin meets fabric. Somewhere in the background of all of this, your breath is moving, in, out. It's been doing that all day, all night, without any supervision. You don't need to change it. Just feel how it is right now. Maybe the in-breath is a little shorter. Maybe the out-breath is a bit longer. Maybe they're the same. You might feel the breath more in your chest, the gentle rise and fall there. Or maybe it's your stomach that moves, lifting slightly toward the ceiling, then settling back down toward the mattress. However it happens for you is fine. This is just you, breathing, the way you always do. Here, just here. That's the whole thing. Head on the pillow, body on the bed, air on your skin, breath moving in its own rhythm, thoughts coming and going in the background, like people passing by a window. You don't have to push the thoughts away. If they want to chatter, they can chatter. You can let them be like a radio in another room, a little fuzzy, a little far. The words I'm saying can sit closer, or they can drift out and mix with everything else. Either way, you're still lying here, being held up by the same steady mattress. The room around you is doing its quiet job. The walls are holding their shape. The ceiling stays where it is. The door is closed or partly closed, exactly how you left it. Any sounds that exist right now belong to this night. A car in the distance, a pipe in the wall, the faint hum of something electrical, all of it part of the same stillness you're inside. If your eyes are open, they don't have to stay that way. If they're already closed, they don't have to close tighter. They can just rest, the way a book rests when it's placed face down for the night. Nothing more needs to be taken in. Notice the back of your body, the whole length of it. The back of the head, the curve of the neck, the spread of the shoulders, the weight of the ribs, the soft give of the stomach, the heaviness of the hips, the length of the legs, all the way down to the heels. Each part has found a spot to land. The front of your body is a little different. It's the side that meets the air. The gentle rise at the collarbones, the quiet movement of the chest, the soft slope of the belly, the way the blanket lies over it, or the way the air touches it if it's uncovered. One side held, one side open. If there's a place that aches or feels restless, you don't have to argue with it. You can simply notice, there you are, the way you'd notice a light left on in another room. It's present, but it doesn't have to fill the whole house. Thoughts may still be moving quickly. That's all right. They've had a whole day of momentum. They don't stop just because the clock says they should. For now, they can keep their pace if they want to. Your body can begin to slow even while your mind is still catching up. Imagine you're arriving home at the end of a long day, walking through a familiar hallway. You're not in the softest room yet. You're just inside the door, taking off your shoes, putting down your keys. That's what this is. You don't have to be deeply relaxed already. You're just arriving. Each time you notice the weight of your head or the feel of the pillow, that's like hanging up a coat. Each time you feel the blanket on your legs, that's like turning off one more light you don't need. Little by little, the house of this day gets dimmer, quieter, more your own. For now, let the simple facts keep you company. You are lying down. There is something solid beneath you. Air is moving in and out of your body. The night is doing what nights do, whether you're watching it or not. We'll stay close to these small, ordinary things, the kind of things that are always here, even when the thoughts are loud. As you listen, you can drift, or you can stay with me. You can replay a moment from today or plan something for tomorrow, and then, when you remember, you can touch back in. Pillow, blanket, breath. Slowly, gently, The part of you that's been on high alert can begin to stand down, just a little, not all at once, just enough to feel that you don't have to hold everything by yourself right now. The bed is holding you, the room is holding you, the night can carry the rest. We'll keep going at this pace, soft, steady, unhurried. You can stay exactly as you are and let the words move around you like a quiet current, carrying you from this edge of the day toward whatever kind of rest is ready to meet you next. The day stays outside for a while longer. Somewhere in your mind, you hear the faint echo of a door gently closing. Not a slam, not rushed, just the soft, certain sound of something coming to rest in its frame. Your body is here, in this room, in this bed. It is like arriving home after a long day, crossing a threshold you know well, even if you do not think about it. Imagine you are standing just inside an open doorway. Behind you, the hallway of the day stretches out, full of things that already happened. In front of you, the quiet of this room waits, patient and still. You do not have to step all the way in at once. You can linger in that in-between space for a moment. Feel the way your body touches the bed, like feet finding familiar floorboards. The mattress holds your weight the way a worn rug softens under tired steps. Nothing in this room asks anything of you. It just receives you. Each breath is like setting something down in the entryway. On the inhale, you notice what you are still carrying. On the exhale, you place one thing down. The weight in your shoulders might be the first to arrive. As you breathe out, imagine it as a heavy bag sliding from your shoulder to the floor. You do not need to see what is inside. You only feel the strap loosen, the muscles in your neck softening as they no longer hold it up. The air on your skin has its own quiet temperature, like the difference between the outside and inside of a house. Maybe your face feels the faintest coolness, like stepping through a doorway where the air is calmer, less busy. Your chest and stomach feel warmer, like walking into a room that has been holding its own gentle heat all day. Notice where your hands are resting. They might be by your sides, or folded over your middle, or tucked somewhere that feels right. Wherever they are, imagine them as keys set down in a small dish near the door. They have done enough turning, enough holding, enough gripping. Now they can just rest, metal against ceramic, hand against fabric. Your fingers may curl slightly or lie open. Feel the texture beneath them. The weave of the sheet, the softness of a blanket, the smoothness or slight roughness of the fabric. This is like the familiar feel of a doorknob you have turned 1,000 times, the way your palm knows its shape without looking. Your legs stretch out or bend, finding their own version of comfort. Sense the heaviness of your thighs, the weight of your knees, the solid presence of your calves. It is like taking off your shoes just inside the door. That small relief as your feet spread, as your toes are no longer contained. Imagine that now, the feeling of untying laces or slipping out of something snug. Your feet in this bed are like bare feet on a cool floor at home. The mattress meets your heels the way a floor receives your step, steady, unhurried, holding you up without effort. Notice the pressure of your heels, how the surface yields just enough, then stops, like a floor that has always been there. The room around you is your quiet interior, walls you do not need to see to trust. They stand where they stand, holding their own stillness. The ceiling above you is like a roof, you know, even in the dark. You can't see its shape, but you feel its shelter in the way the air settles. Listen, for a moment, to the sounds that are still trying to follow you in. Maybe there are faint traces of the day, voices from far away, a car somewhere outside, the hum of something mechanical. They are like distant street noises heard through a closed front door, present but softened, filtered by layers of wood and air and distance. With each breath out, that door between you and the day swings a little closer to closed, not shutting anything out with force, just easing into its frame bit by bit. You stand or lie just inside, feeling the difference between out there and in here. Your chest rises and falls, steady as someone hanging up a coat. Inhale, and you feel the fabric of your ribs expand. Exhale, and it is as if you slide that coat onto a hook, letting its weight fall from your arms. There is nothing else you need to do with it. It simply hangs there, waiting, no longer on your shoulders. Feel the back of your head where it rests. The cushion beneath it holds the curve of your skull like a familiar chair in a familiar corner. It does not ask you to sit up straight or hold yourself a certain way. It just shapes itself around you as if it has been expecting you. Your jaw can loosen, the way you might unfasten a collar as you walk through your own door. Tongue resting easy in your mouth. Lips soft, not pressed together, not preparing to speak. Inside this quiet room, words can be left near the doorway too, like mail you drop on a small table to look at later. Notice your breathing again, the simple rhythm of it, in and out, like stepping over a threshold, one foot, then the other. You are not standing outside anymore. You are not fully wandering through all the rooms yet. You are just here, in that gentle space where arrival happens. The air against your cheeks, against your arms or hands, is like the indoor air that greets you after weather. If your day was cold, this room feels warmer. If your day was hot, this room feels cooler. Either way, the difference is clear, like stepping inside and feeling your skin realize it can stop bracing. Notice the weight of your hips, the way they sink into the bed. It is like dropping a heavy bag by the door with both hands, hearing the soft thud as it lands. You do not need to sort through it now. It can stay there, by that inner doorway of your attention, untouched for a while. Your spine rests along its length, each segment finding its own place. Think of it as walking down a short hallway from the door to the living space. Each vertebra a quiet step, each breath another small movement inward, even as your body stays still. If your mind tries to wander back toward the doorway, toward the hallway of the day, that is all right. You can always feel the floor beneath your feet, the bed beneath your body. You can always feel this room, the door does not lock. It simply rests, gently closed, keeping the noise on the other side a little softer. The fabric touching your skin is like the clothes you change into when you are finally home. More forgiving, less formal. Notice how the sheet drapes over your legs, how it folds and creases around your ankles. Each small contact is a reminder. You are inside now. Your shoulders spread slightly, as if you had just shrugged off a heavy coat and let it slide down your arms. The muscles across your back broaden against the mattress. They do not need to hold you upright or ready. They can lean back into this, the way you lean against a familiar door after closing it, feeling the solid wood behind you. Somewhere in the background of your awareness, there is a quiet hallway where the day can wait. Conversations, tasks, questions, all of it lined up like shoes by the door. They are not gone. They are simply not on your feet right now. Your breath moves in your ribs like a slow walk deeper into the house. Inhale, and you step into the living room of your body. Exhale, and you sink into a soft place to sit, a place that knows your shape. The bed beneath you is that place. Listen to how it receives every part of you without condition, without comment. Feel how your body spreads out, wider than the small space your thoughts usually occupy. Your arms, your legs, your back, all of them touching something. The bed is like a wide, quiet floor, and you are lying across it like someone who has finally come home and stretched out, knowing there is nowhere else to be. The sounds outside your immediate circle of awareness fade a little more, like a door that has fully met its frame. You might still hear them, but they do not reach you in the same way. They are muffled by the walls of this room, by the walls of your own attention. Here, in this interior space, the only things that matter are simple: the weight of your limbs, the feel of fabric, the gentle movement of your breath, the steady presence of the bed beneath you, like a floor that will not move. You have crossed the threshold. The day is on one side of the door. You are on the other. And for now, this room, this bed, this quiet arrival is enough. The weight of your body has found its place now, here, in this quiet. Nothing needs to be arranged or fixed. The room around you has already done its quiet work of holding, of softening edges, of dimming the day. The air in this room has its own gentle temperature. Not too warm, not too cool. Just a soft layer resting on your skin, like a thin blanket of stillness. You can feel it on your cheeks, along the bridge of your nose, over the backs of your hands. Each exhale settles a little deeper into the space. As you breathe out, the room seems to breathe with you, as if the walls themselves are relaxing, easing their invisible shoulders. You might sense the faintest shift in the air near your lips, the quiet warmth of your breath dissolving into the dimness. Around you, the walls stand close enough to feel like a gentle embrace, yet far enough that you have room to stretch in every direction inside your mind. They do not lean in. They simply stand, steady and unmoving, keeping the world at a distance for a while. Above, the ceiling is like a soft, low sky for this small world. You may not see it clearly, but you can feel its presence, a calm surface overhead that needs nothing from you. It holds the darkness in place, like a lid on a quiet jar, so that nothing spills in that you did not invite. The light in this room is tender and slow. It might be only a faint glow from a corner or a muted lamp with its shade turned down. It does not glare. It does not demand your eyes. It sits in the background, like someone waiting patiently in another room, there if you need it, content if you do not. Notice the way that soft light touches the surfaces around you. It brushes the edge of a piece of furniture, turns a sharp corner into something round and gentle. Even the shadows are slow here, pooling in the corners like quiet thoughts that no longer need to be sorted. Beneath you, the bed is the center of this small sanctuary. Feel how it meets you. The mattress rising to greet the weight of your shoulders, your hips, the length of your legs. Every place your body touches is an agreement between you and the bed. You press down, it presses back, and in between is a steady, wordless support. The fabric against your skin has its own soft story. Maybe it is smooth and cool at first, then slowly warming where your body has rested a while. Your fingertips could trace the weave of it, the tiny pattern of threads that no one else will ever notice in this moment but you. It is ordinary, and because of that, deeply comforting. The weight of your heels against the mattress is small but clear. They sink just enough to leave their own quiet imprint, a private sign that you were here, that you are here, in this room made for rest. The fabric gives, the filling shifts, and then everything holds still around that tiny pressure. Listen to the room. Not for anything exciting, not for anything important, just for the small background sounds that prove the world is still turning without your help. A faint hum from somewhere, maybe the soft tick of something cooling, or the far-off murmur of a building settling into night. Those sounds are like distant conversations behind a closed door. You know they are there, but they no longer need your attention. The walls take them in, soften them, and return only a gentle hush to you. Here, the loudest thing might be your own breath, steady and familiar. Your hands have found a place to rest. Notice their weight, how they lie wherever they have chosen, on your chest, by your sides, folded over your stomach. They do not need to hold, or reach, or scroll, or carry. They simply rest, like small quiet animals that have finally curled up for the night. The air moves so slowly in this room that it almost feels still. Yet, if you pay close attention, you might sense the faintest drift across the fine hairs on your forearms, or the soft coolness near your ankles where the blanket is not as snug. Tiny, almost invisible currents of air, like the room's own gentle breathing. Here, in this stillness, even the furniture seems to relax. The chair in the corner no longer waits for anyone to sit. The table is not a surface for tasks, just a quiet shape in the dim light. Everything that once had a purpose in the day has set that purpose down for the night. The walls keep their quiet. They have heard all the sounds of the day, all the footsteps, all the voices, and now they simply hold what remains. A soft, low hush that wraps around you from every side. No rush, no urgency. Only the steady presence of this enclosed, gentle space. Feel how your body belongs to this room right now. Your spine aligned with the surface beneath you. Your shoulders supported, not hanging, not working. Your head cradled by the pillow, the weight of it sinking in just enough to feel held. The pillow has its own way of remembering you. The shape it takes under your head, the slight hollow where you have rested before, the way it gives in more at the back of your skull and less at the edges. It is as if it has been waiting for this exact weight, this exact angle, this exact moment. Notice the blanket or sheet over you, if there is one. The way it rests across your chest, your ribs, your legs. Not pressing, not heavy, just enough to outline the shape of your body to say, quietly, here you are. Edges tucked or loose, it does not matter. The fabric knows how to drape itself around you. Every corner of this room has softened for the night. Even if there are objects here with sharp lines in the light of day, now they are muted, blurred by the gentle darkness. Nothing in this space asks for quick thinking or fast decisions. Everything leans toward ease. If your mind wanders, it can wander only within these four walls for now. It might drift to the doorway, closed or barely open, to the faint line where the floor meets the wall, to the quiet space beneath the bed, where dust and forgotten things are resting, untouched, unbothered. The floor holds the bed holds you, and the room holds it all. Layer upon layer of support stacked beneath you like invisible hands you never have to see. You are not balancing. You are not trying. You are simply being held by the simple fact of gravity and furniture and four steady walls. If there is a clock in this room, it keeps its own slow rhythm. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you cannot. But time in here feels different, stretched out and softened, like a long hallway with no doors you need to open. Minutes become like the soft folds in the blanket, present but not demanding your attention. Your eyes, whether closed or half open, have nothing to track. No bright screens, no moving shapes, just the gentle dim, the suggestion of shapes that do not change. The muscles around your eyes can loosen now, as if the room is saying there is nothing to watch over. Notice how the air smells in this room. Maybe there is the faint trace of clean fabric or the quiet, familiar scent of your own pillow. Perhaps a hint of something wooden, or the neutral, almost invisible smell of still air that has been resting here all evening. Nothing sharp, nothing loud, just a soft background presence that reminds you where you are. Here, in this room made just for rest, The outside world is on the other side of the walls. It can continue its movement without you for a while. Inside, everything is smaller, slower, gentler. Your world has narrowed to this bed, this air, this light, this simple, enclosing quiet. Every breath you take settles more deeply into this space. Each inhale gathers the softness of the room. Each exhale spreads your weight a little more fully across the mattress, as if you are slowly imprinting yourself into the night. The room is not asking you to sleep. It is simply offering itself as a place where nothing else needs to happen. You can lie here, feeling the slight pressure of fabric on skin, the steady contact of your body with the bed, the calm presence of walls and ceiling and floor. This is a small sanctuary built out of ordinary things. A door that closes, a light that dims, a bed that remembers your shape. 4 quiet walls that keep the night at a gentle distance. Stay with the feeling of being inside this room, inside these walls, inside this bed, inside your own body, held in this soft, unhurried space that exists for one simple purpose: to give you a place to rest. Each exhale settles a little more deeply into the quiet. The day is behind you now, like a path that has curved out of sight. Ahead, there is only this soft stretch of evening. Breath moves in, breath moves out. Nothing to solve inside it, just the slow rhythm, again and again. Around you, imagine a garden at dusk. The light is thinning, turning gentle at the edges. Colors soften, shapes blur, and the harsh lines of the day melt away. You are somewhere within this garden, not as a visitor with tasks to do, but as something that belongs here. As natural as a leaf, as unhurried as a stone resting in the soil. The air around you carries a slight coolness. It brushes your skin the way twilight brushes the tops of leaves, smoothing them, calming them. With each inhale, that coolness slips in through your nose, down the back of your throat, into your chest. With each exhale, the warmth of your body flows back out, like the earth releasing the last heat of the day. Notice how your chest rises, like a small hill in this garden. On the in-breath, it lifts gently, as if a breeze is passing over it. On the out-breath, it softens and settles, the way plants bow toward the soil when the wind quiets. There is no rush. The garden moves at the pace of your breathing, or maybe your breathing moves at the pace of the garden. Somewhere nearby, tall stems stand still, their blossoms beginning to close for the night. Petals fold in, not from effort, but from a simple response to the fading light. Your body can follow that same quiet instinct, muscles drawing inward, not tense, just less interested in holding themselves up. Feel the weight of your shoulders. They have been like branches all day, carrying the weight of thoughts, of plans, of conversations. Now, as you breathe out, imagine those branches settling. Leaves loosening, stems relaxing, the whole limb sinking closer to the trunk, supported from below. Your upper back rests like soil that has already been turned and tended. No need to keep it firm. On the next exhale, allow it to spread a little wider, the way ground softens after the sun leaves it alone. Your shoulder blades drift apart, like two flat stones sinking a fraction deeper into the earth. The air in this garden grows cooler as the light fades, but the ground keeps its quiet warmth. Feel that under you now, wherever your body meets what supports it. Heels, calves, hips, shoulder blades, the back of your head. Each point of contact is like a root meeting soil, held without question, without condition. Your arms rest along your sides or wherever they have chosen to land. Imagine them as long, slender stems after the last bee has gone. No need to stand tall or reach for anything. They can simply hang, the slight heaviness of them a sign that the day's reaching is done. Bring your attention to your hands. They have been busy, even when you did not notice. Typing, holding, scrolling, carrying, clenching. Now, picture them as small clusters of leaves, finally still. Feel the weight in each finger, the way the knuckles rest, the way the palms open or curve. On your next breath out, imagine the tiny muscles in your fingers unwinding, like tendrils releasing their grip from a fence at night. Nothing is pulling them anymore. They can curl or lengthen however they wish. In this garden, tiny sounds begin to change. The sharp noises of daytime fade, replaced by softer rustles. A leaf turning over. A stem brushing another stem. Your own breath is one of those sounds now, part of the background, steady and familiar. Follow one full breath from start to finish. Cool air at the entrance of your nose. The chest widening, ribs shifting slightly apart, like narrow paths between rows of plants. Then the turn, that quiet moment at the top when nothing moves. And the slow return, chest falling, ribs drifting back together, as if the garden is exhaling with you. Your face has its own small landscape. The forehead, where thoughts gather like busy insects in the heat of the day. The space between your eyebrows, where worry sometimes sits like a tight bud that refuses to open. Now, as dusk settles, those busy wings still. Imagine a soft shade passing over your forehead, like a cloud of evening light. On your next exhale, feel the skin there smoothing out, the tiny muscles at your temples easing, as if the garden has gently pressed two cool leaves against them. Your jaw loosens, the way a flower stem bends when no one is watching it anymore. Lips rest together or slightly apart, tongue heavy, relaxed, lying back in the mouth like a fallen petal on the ground. There is nothing for your mouth to hold, no words to form, no expressions to manage. The whole face can fade into the dimness of this garden, less defined, more at ease. Deeper inside, your breath moves through the space behind your ribs. This space is like a quiet clearing among the plants. No paths, no tools, just a small open area where the air can gather and disperse. With each inhale, the clearing fills. With each exhale, it empties without hurry. Notice the rhythm now. In, out. Like the slow closing of blossoms, one by one across the garden. Some close, quickly, some linger, but all are drawn in the same direction, toward rest. Your abdomen responds to each breath. On the in-breath, it gently rounds, like soft soil being lifted from beneath. On the out-breath, it falls back, as if that soil is settling into the shape that suits it best. You can place a quiet awareness there, feeling the simple rise and fall, like watching a single plant sway. Lower down, your hips are heavy, anchored. They are the thick roots of an old plant, buried deep, not needing to prove their strength. The muscles around them can stop gripping the way they did when you moved through the day. On the next exhale, imagine those roots spreading a little farther into the ground, taking up more room, claiming their place. Thighs soften, like broad leaves that have stopped holding themselves up to the light. Knees loosen, no longer locked, no longer braced. Calves and shins rest along the earth of this garden, supported from below, forgotten by effort. Even your ankles release, like thin stems relieved of the weight of flowers. Your feet, often ignored, are like small beds of herbs at the edge of the path. They have carried you through every step, every errand, every anxious pacing. Now they are still. Toes uncurl, arches relax, heels sink. Feel how the fabric or air around your feet holds them, the way soil cups the base of a plant. There is a quiet gratitude in this stillness, even if you do not name it. Just feet that no longer have to move, just roots resting in their place. All through the garden, the light continues to dim. Details blur. The sharp outlines of leaves and petals become soft shapes, overlapping, merging. Your own edges feel less strict too, less defined. As you breathe, imagine that each exhale helps the garden grow darker in a gentle way. Not a sudden darkness, but a slow, velvety deepening of evening. With every out-breath, another small corner of worry loses its shape, like a plant you can no longer quite see in the fading light. It is still there, but it does not ask for your attention. You are held in this twilight, the way the garden holds every stem, every stone, every fallen leaf. Breath moves in, bringing the coolness of night. Breath moves out, releasing the heat and noise of the day into the soil. Over and over, the simplest of exchanges. Here, in this quiet garden at dusk, your body can be just another living thing settling down. No performance, no brightness to maintain. Only the slow, natural folding of the day into night, and your own soft, steady breathing at the center of it all. Each exhale settles a little more space inside you. As the breath moves out, slowly, gently, imagine that behind your closed eyes, a wide sky is opening, not above you, not far away, a sky that is the inside of your mind. Soft, spacious, without edges you can touch. your body can stay heavy and warm where it is. The sky is within. Breath moves in. The chest rises. The belly follows. And as the air arrives, this inner sky brightens by the smallest shade, as if dawn were considering itself, not in a hurry to appear. Breath moves out. The chest eases. The belly softens. And across that sky of the mind, the first thin clouds drift by. Thoughts. They do not have to stop. They do not have to behave. They are simply weather moving through a space that is much, much larger than they are. Feel the weight of your head resting, the back of the skull supported. Under that weight, imagine a broad, quiet expanse stretching in every direction, high and wide, the color of early evening, that soft in-between when light has no sharp edges. This is the sky of your mind. Thoughts appear in it like small clouds. Some are wisps, almost transparent. Some are thicker with weight and texture. Notice the way they arrive without asking. A memory, a worry, a line of a song. They form, they shift, they drift, and the sky behind them stays. As you breathe in, feel the coolness at the tip of your nose, in the back of your throat. As you breathe out, feel the warmth leaving. With each breath, imagine a gentle wind moving across that inner sky, not a storm. Just a steady, quiet current of air, high and slow. The wind does not argue with the clouds. It passes through and around them, and they respond in their own time. Bring your attention to your forehead. Any tightness there, any small furrow between your brows is like a dense little cloud that has been holding its shape for too long. On your next exhale, picture that cloud softening at the edges, not disappearing, just losing its hard outline. A bit of it thins, a bit of it drifts. Your forehead smooths, like the sky after a brief passing shade. Now feel your eyes resting in their sockets, heavier now. Behind them, the sky widens. Thoughts may still move, like flocks of tiny birds crossing from one side to the other. They do not need to land. They can pass through your field of awareness and keep flying, small dark shapes against a vast, pale backdrop. Notice your jaw. If it is clenched, if the teeth are touching, imagine that tension as a narrow band of dark cloud low on the horizon. On the next breath out, see a shaft of soft light opening through it. The jaw loosens. The tongue relaxes from the roof of the mouth. The cloud band thins, breaking into separate pieces that begin to move apart, making room for more sky. Your shoulders rest where they are, heavy, supported. Inside, the sky of the mind reaches all the way down, filling the space of the chest. Thoughts may gather there like a cluster of weather, a busy patch where things seem to swirl. Instead of stepping into that swirl, imagine yourself as the sky that holds it, the blue that is underneath and around, the stillness that does not get tangled. Breath in. The chest expands gently against this inner air. Breath out. The chest settles, and the cluster of thoughts clouds drifts a little farther away, as if the wind has shifted by just a degree. Feel the weight of your hands wherever they rest. Each hand has its own gravity, its own quiet pull toward the surface beneath it. As you notice that weight, picture small, harmless clouds passing under them, far below, like you are high above, watching from the upper reaches of the sky. Those lower clouds are slower, heavier. They belong to older stories. They can stay down there, moving at their own pace. You are with the higher, clearer air now. Bring awareness to the back of your throat, the gentle passage where breath flows. Each inhale is like a bird gliding across your inner sky, effortless. Wings outstretched, riding a current you cannot see, but can feel as coolness, as movement. Each exhale is that same bird folding its wings and disappearing into the distance, smaller and smaller, until it is only a dot, then nothing. The sky remains. Thoughts may thicken. Sometimes a whole front of worry may roll in, like a bank of heavy cloud covering everything for a moment. Notice how your body responds. Maybe the belly tightens. Maybe the chest feels a little smaller. Instead of pushing the clouds away, imagine stepping back, inside yourself, to where you can see more of the sky at once. Even when the clouds feel large, they never fill everything. At the edges, there is always a rim of clear space, a thin, bright line where openness waits. Breathe into that edge. Inhale. Feel the ribs widen, making a little more room. Exhale. Feel the ribs fall and picture the cloud bank drifting an inch, just enough to show another patch of open sky. This is not about clearing the sky. Skies are not meant to be empty. They are meant to hold whatever weather appears without strain. Thoughts will keep forming. They can be quick, like small white puffs that vanish almost as soon as they appear. They can be lingering, like long streaks that stretch across your inner horizon. You can watch them change shape. You can watch them fade, all while your body sinks deeper into the mattress, the pillow, the softness beneath you. Bring attention now to the space behind your eyes again. Notice how deep it feels, as if you could lean back inside your own head, you would fall into that depth. Here, in this stillness, imagine the sky of the mind growing even higher, so high that some of the thoughts' clouds are now very far below, like tiny smudges. You can see their movement, but you cannot feel their pull. They are too distant to tug at you. In this higher air, the breath is slow and steady. Inhale. The air rises along the back of your nose, cool and smooth. Exhale. The air leaves warmer, like a soft breeze that has passed over sunlit stone. With each breath, the space between clouds seems to widen. Not because the clouds vanish, but because your awareness is resting more in the blue, in the open, in the quiet stretch that holds everything. Even the faster thoughts, the ones that used to feel like sudden gusts, can be seen now as small weather. A brief swirl, a quick shower, and then clear again. Your neck releases a little more. The back of the head feels heavier, as if the sky behind it has become a gentle cushion of air. You are not trying to fix the weather. You are discovering that you are the whole sky, not any single cloud. If a thought returns again and again, like a bird circling, you can watch its pattern, round and round, familiar, predictable. On one exhale, imagine that bird finally finding a distant tree at the edge of your horizon, far away, where it can settle for the night. You do not need to follow it there. You can stay here in the wide, quiet center of your own inner sky. Breath in, breath out. Clouds come, clouds go. Birds pass, shapes appear and dissolve. And beneath all of that, there is this gentle, steady spaciousness, this soft, unhurried sky of the mind that has been here all along, waiting for you to notice it, to rest in it, as your body continues to sink and your breathing continues to move like a calm, endless wind. Each exhale moves through you like a quiet current. It comes, it passes, it goes on. Inside there is a river. Not a river anyone can see from the outside. A river that lives beneath your ribs, beneath your thoughts, beneath the noise of the day. Feel your breath as that river. The inhale gathers, the exhale flows. Slowly now, imagine this river beginning at the base of your skull, right where your head meets the pillow. There, a cool, gentle spring rises. With each in-breath, the spring fills. With each out-breath, the water moves forward, unhurried, down the length of you. Your head rests as the source. Your neck, your shoulders become the first soft banks. Notice how the muscles at the back of your neck respond as the river begins to move. On the inhale, they might hold for a moment. On the exhale, they soften, like soil touched by water. The river is not in a rush. It has all night. Feel the water of your breath sliding down through your throat. Inside, it traces the shape of your spine, a narrow, shining stream following every curve, every small bend. With each exhale, it washes along the bones, smoothing the edges of the day. If there is any tightness at the base of your skull, imagine the river passing over it, not forcing it away, just flowing around it again and again, like a stream moving past a stone that has been there for years. The stone does not need to move for the water to continue. Your river simply finds its path. Now, as you breathe in, feel the river swell just a little in your upper back, between your shoulder blades, that quiet, often forgotten space. As you breathe out, feel the water slide down, spreading across the width of your back. Your shoulder blades become two smooth rocks in the shallows. The water curls around them. The muscles there can soften into that flow. Notice the weight of your shoulders as they rest. The mattress beneath you is like a riverbed, steady and patient. It holds the weight without question. Your arms lie along the banks. On the next inhale, imagine the river sending a small branch of water out toward your right arm. It travels through the soft tissue of your upper arm, down past your elbow, into your forearm. On the exhale, that branch of water reaches your wrist, your palm, each finger. As it moves, it gathers what you have been carrying there, little clutches of effort, the way your hands remember holding, typing, gripping, reaching. The river does not judge any of it. It simply notices, gathers, and carries on. Feel your right hand now, a little heavier, a little more settled, like a stone that has finally found the bottom. Now the same gentle branch of water moves along your left arm. Inhale, and it begins at the shoulder. Exhale, and it drifts down, following the length of bone and muscle, past the bend of the elbow, past the twist of the wrist, into the palm that has held so much today. If there is a tiny buzz of energy in your fingers, picture the water lapping at it, cooling it, soothing it, each fingertip touched by that inner stream. On your next breath out, feel both hands resting at the edge of the river. No work to do, only contact, only weight. Return now to the main current, running along your spine. As you breathe in, sense the river at the level of your chest. It widens here. Your ribs open like a valley. The water fills the space behind your breastbone. On the exhale, it moves through, calm and steady. If your chest has been tight, as if it had been holding its breath for hours, this is where the river pauses. It pools for a moment. You might imagine it as a deep, clear bend in the stream. A place where the water slows, gathers, becomes smooth as glass. Your heart rests near this bend. It has been beating its own rhythm all day. Now it can listen to the slower rhythm of the water. Feel how the breath moves around your heart. Not touching it directly, just offering a slower pace nearby. With every exhale, the river carries away a little of the leftover urgency, the almost thoughts, the half-finished worries. They drift like small leaves on the surface. The water does not argue with them. It just takes them along, downward toward your stomach. Your breath arrives in your belly now. On the inhale, the river swells gently against the front of your abdomen. On the exhale, it slides back, deeper, toward your spine. This is the middle of the river, the quiet stretch, the place where the banks are soft and low. If your stomach has been knotted, imagine the water moving over those knots like a slow hand, not untying everything at once, just softening the edges, smoothing the rope. Here, in this middle stretch, the river runs warm. The water carries the warmth of your core. Notice how your belly rises and falls with the current, like the surface of a stream touched by a light breeze. Nothing dramatic, just small movements, steady and sure. As you continue to breathe, the river moves further down. It reaches your hips, the wide stones at the bottom of the valley. Feel the weight of your hips against the bed. They are the deep anchors of your body. The river curves around them, finding its way between bone and muscle. If there is any tightness in your lower back, picture the water flowing along that edge, cool where there is heat, soft where there is strain. You might imagine little eddies forming in the hollows beside your spine, tiny spirals of water swirling and releasing pockets of held effort. With each exhale, those spirals unwind. They stretch out, join the main current, and move on. Now the river splits again. One branch moves down each leg. On your next inhale, feel the water gathering at the top of your right thigh. On the exhale, it glides down through the large, strong muscles there, past the knee, where tendons cross like small bridges. The water moves under those bridges, washing away the grit of the day. It continues down your calf, where you may have carried yourself from place to place. If there is any dull ache, imagine the river cooling it, like shade falling over sun-warmed stone. It reaches your ankle, then your heel. Notice the weight of your heel pressing into the mattress. The river pools there for a moment. Your heel is like a smooth, rounded rock at the bottom of a shallow ford. The water rests around it, then moves on, through the sole of your foot, out through each toe. Everything that needed to be carried away from your right leg has now joined the flow. The left branch of the river moves in the same quiet way. Inhale, and it gathers at your left hip. Exhale, and it travels down the thigh, past the knee, along the calf, through the ankle, into the heel. Feel how the left heel too has its own gravity, its own simple, patient weight. The river holds it, then slides past, out through the sole, through the toes. Both legs now lie along the riverbed, heavy, still, supported. From the base of your skull to the tips of your toes, the river has traced its path. Your breath is the source. Your body is the land it moves through. Now, as you breathe, imagine the entire river flowing at once. Inhale, and the spring at the back of your head fills. Exhale, and the water runs the full length of you. Head, neck, shoulders, arms, chest, belly, hips, legs, feet. A single, continuous current. With every breath out, it carries something small away. A thought that was circling, a muscle that was gripping, a tiny, unnoticed effort. You do not have to decide what the river takes. It knows the low places. It finds the channels. Your only task is to feel the movement, the coolness where the mind has been hot, the warmth where the body has been cold, the soft, steady pull of the current as it moves through you. If a thought appears, see it as a leaf touching the surface. The river receives it. It spins once, maybe twice, in a gentle whirl. Then the water carries it beyond the bend, out of sight, out of reach. The river remains. Your breath remains. Quiet, continuous, endlessly willing to flow. Each exhale softens the room a little more. As your breath moves in and out, imagine you are sitting in a quiet place filled with lanterns. Not bright ones, gentle ones. Their light already low, already leaning toward rest. The air around you carries a faint warmth, as if the lanterns have been glowing for a long time. Their glass sides hold a soft haze. The light inside them is steady, but not strong. It spills out in small circles, then fades into shadow. Your inhale rises, slow and smooth. As it does, picture one of those lanterns brightening just a touch, not flaring, just a mild gathering of light, enough to trace the outline of your own hands resting where they are, enough to touch the curve of your shoulders. Then your exhale moves out, long, easy. With it, the lantern's glow settles back, sinking toward dimness again. The edges of things blur, corners soften, shadows grow thicker and kinder. Notice the weight of your body, as if you too are a lantern, a solid base, a center that holds. Around you, the glow of awareness has been wide, reaching out to every thought, every worry, every sound. For now, that glow can shrink. It can draw in close. Breathe in and feel your chest expand, like a lantern's small flame leaning upright for a moment. Breathe out and feel that flame relax, bowing down, shorter, quieter, still there, but less insistent. Around this room of lanterns, there are also candles. Simple, short, some almost melted to the base. Their wicks glow with tiny orange points. Each one is like a small knot of tension in your body, present, working, but ready to soften. Bring your attention to your face, to the tiny muscles around your eyes. Imagine a candle there, high up near your brow. Its flame has been standing tall all day, watching, scanning, staying alert. With your next slow exhale, see that candle's flame shorten. The wax around it softens and folds. Your forehead smooths, as if the light there has grown more gentle, more forgiving. Your eyelids, whether open or closed, can grow heavier, as if the lantern just behind them is dimming, the glass cooling, the glow turning to a quiet ember. The space behind your eyes becomes a calm, dark room. Not empty, just peaceful, a place where nothing is asked of you. Breath comes in. The ember brightens just enough to show you the edges of your thoughts. Breath goes out. The ember settles back, and those edges blur, drifting into shadow. Move your attention down to your jaw, to the place where teeth meet, to the hinges near your ears. There has been a small, steady candle there too, holding your words, your replies, your held-back feelings. With each exhale, picture that candle sinking lower, its flame bending, almost curling into itself. Your jaw loosens, your tongue rests, your lips soften at the corners, as if the light there is now too gentle to keep anything clenched. The room of lanterns grows quieter. Some have gone from flame to glow. Some from glow to just warmth in the metal frames. Nothing sudden, nothing forced, just a natural dimming, the way evening leans toward night without asking. Bring your awareness to your neck and throat, to the column that holds your head. Imagine a narrow lantern there, hanging from a simple hook. All day, its flame has been bright enough to hold your posture, to keep your head lifted, your voice ready. Now, with your breathing, that flame can draw inward. Inhale and feel length in the back of your neck, as if the lantern is aligning on its chain. Exhale and see the flame inside grow smaller, pooling at the bottom like liquid light. Your head becomes heavier on the pillow or wherever it rests, as the muscles around your throat release their hold. Your shoulders have their own lanterns, one on each side, resting where tension likes to gather. Picture them as small, square frames of glass, the kind that show every flicker. Their flames have been restless, jumping with every demand, every thought. Now as you breathe, those flames slow. With each inhale, they rise just enough to remind you of their presence. With each exhale, they sink, steady and calm, until they become more like a soft coal than a flame. Your shoulders fall away from your ears, sliding down as if the chains that held the lanterns high have been lowered by a few quiet notches. The shadows in this room of light grow deeper, but they are not empty. They are thick with rest. The floor, the walls, the ceiling are all touched by a fading glow that knows when to recede. Bring your attention down your arms now, to your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. Imagine a line of very small lanterns set along a path, each one marking a joint, a bend, a place where movement begins. These tiny lights have guided you through reaching, carrying, typing, holding. One by one, they can dim. As you inhale, sense a faint warmth in your upper arms, as if those lanterns are still lit. As you exhale, feel that warmth spreading, not outward but inward, into the muscles, into the bones. The glass around those lights clouds over, like breath on cool glass, and the flames behind it grow softer, less defined. Your hands now, the weight of them, the quiet gravity of your palms and fingers. Imagine each fingertip as a small fading spark. All day, they have been bright, quick, alive with tasks and touches. Now, with every slow breath out, each spark cools. The pads of your fingers sink into stillness. The backs of your hands rest heavy. It is as if someone has gently cupped their hands around your own lantern hands, shielding them from any need to shine. Inside that shelter, the light can dim without disappearing. It becomes a private warmth, not for anyone else to see. Your breath continues, steady, like a bellows that no longer needs to feed a roaring fire, only to keep a few coals alive. Enough to sustain you, not enough to keep you awake. Turn your attention to your chest again, but from the inside, as if you could sit in the middle of it, in a room lit by one central lantern. This is the lantern that has burned through every emotion, every surge of anxiety, every quickened heartbeat. It has been bright, sometimes too bright. Now you are here with it as it rests. Inhale and feel the lantern's frame expand, the ribs around it making space. Exhale and feel the light inside drift downward, pooling low, gentle and deep. The shadows on the walls of this inner room grow longer. The ceiling seems closer. The space feels more intimate, more hushed. You might notice that in this dimmer light, the fast, sharp thoughts cannot move as quickly. They slow down, like people walking through a room lit only by candles. They have to move carefully, and in that care, they lose their urgency. Move down into your belly. Imagine a small, round lantern resting there, heavy and stable. Its light has often been stirred, flickering with worry, with anticipation, with all the things you could not name but still felt. Now, as you breathe, this lantern begins to glow in a different way. With each inhale, your belly rises, giving the lantern room. With each exhale, it sinks slightly, as if settling into a soft cushion. The flame inside it does not need to reach upward anymore. It curls inward, like a cat turning in on itself before sleep, still warm, but no longer alert. The space below your navel grows quiet. The muscles there loosen, no longer bracing. The light is dim enough now that you could almost forget it is there, except for the comfort of its warmth. Bring your awareness to your lower back, your hips, the broad places where your body meets the surface beneath you. Imagine wide, low lanterns here, built close to the ground. Their glass is thick, their bases strong. These are the lanterns that hold you up, even when you are not thinking about it. As you breathe out, feel their light spreading out along the floor, then thinning, then fading, not going out, just sinking so low that it becomes part of the darkness. Your hips grow heavier, more rooted. The surface beneath you feels like it rises to meet you, as if it has been waiting to carry your weight fully. Down through your thighs, your knees, your calves, there are fewer lanterns now. The light has mostly receded. What remains is a sense of warmth where your body presses down and coolness where it meets the air. Your legs no longer need to be ready to move. The last small flames at your knees and ankles grow still, like eyes closing. Finally, your feet, the soles, the arches, the heels. If there were lanterns here, they have burned low for a long time. They are almost entirely in shadow. The only light left is a faint glow in the memory of all the steps they have taken. With one more slow, easy exhale, even that glow can rest. Now, imagine stepping back in your mind as if you could see the whole room of lanterns at once. Where there was once a scatter of bright lights, there is now mostly darkness, soft and welcoming. A few gentle embers remain here and there, in your chest, in your belly, in the quiet of your hands. The candles are short, their flames barely more than a whisper. The lantern's glass is dim, reflecting only the faintest hints of light. Shadows have grown thick enough to feel like a blanket. Your breath moves in and out, like a slow hand turning down a dimmer switch, tiny degree by tiny degree. Each inhale maintains the smallest glow you need. Each exhale allows the rest to fade, to sink, to disappear into the kind dark. Here, in this room of lanterns growing dim, your mind can mirror the light. Thoughts can soften at the edges. Worries can step back into shadow. The bright, buzzing parts of the day no longer have a place to land. Only this gentle glow remains. Only this quiet warmth in the center of you. Everything else can fade into the soft, welcoming dark. The weight of your body is known now, familiar, held. Somewhere just beyond that quiet heaviness, a path begins. It's simple at first, a pale ribbon of earth brushed with moonlight. You find yourself standing at its edge, as if you've always been here, just waiting for your feet to remember. The air carries a soft coolness, not cold, just enough to make the warmth of your body feel more distinct, more gentle, like a small lantern you're carrying without needing to hold it. You take a step onto the path. The ground is firm, but not hard. There's a thin layer of dust and small stones, and they give a little under your weight. Your foot knows exactly how far it has to travel to meet the earth. Heel, then arch, then toes. A slow rolling contact, easy and unhurried. Moonlight lays itself across the lane like a long, quiet thought. It gathers in the pale dust, turning it silver. It rests on your shoulders, on the top of your head, as if someone has draped a cool, glowing shawl over you. On one side, the dark line of a forest, tall trunks standing close together. Their branches knit a loose roof over their own shadows. You can't see far into them, and you don't need to. It's enough to feel their presence, steady and watchful, like old friends who don't ask questions. On the other side, the open edge of a field. Low, quiet shapes, maybe grass, maybe low bushes, touched with frost-bright light. The horizon is soft, blurred, as if the night has smudged it with the back of its hand. You walk between these two worlds, not inside the trees, not out in the wide field, just along the gentle seam where they meet. Your steps are slow. There is no hurry. The rhythm is almost lazy. 1 foot, then a small pause, then the other. With each step, your body feels a little less defined. The borders soften. The exact outline of your shoulders, your arms, your legs begins to blur in the cool glow. It's as if the moonlight is very quietly erasing the hard lines of where you begin and where the night begins. Not taking anything away, just smoothing it, softening corners that have been sharp all day. The sounds are small and simple. A faint crunch of dirt and tiny stones under your feet. Somewhere at the forest edge, a leaf gives up and falls through the branches, touching them lightly on the way down. Farther away, the softest shift of something moving through the undergrowth, then stillness again. Every sound is distant enough that it never reaches your center. It just brushes the edges of your awareness and then drifts off, like a thought you once had and no longer need to finish. Above you, the sky is clear and deep. The moon hangs a little to your left, not too high, not too low, like a slow, patient eye that only watches, never judges. Its light is so steady that time seems to lose its shape. You can't tell if you've been walking for minutes, or for an hour, or forever. Your arms feel a little heavier now, but in a pleasant way, like branches that have stopped fighting the wind and simply hang. Your hands may be by your sides, or folded, or resting somewhere close to you in the real room where your body lies. Wherever they are, they belong there. They don't need to move. The path curves just slightly, almost shyly. You follow the curve without deciding to. Your feet know before your mind does. They adjust, they angle, they keep the same slow, rolling rhythm. The forest edge to your right is a darker band now. You can make out the texture of bark on the nearest trunks, the way the moonlight slides down one side and leaves the other side in deep shade. Between the trunks, the darkness is thick, but not heavy. It's more like a deep folded blanket that no one has disturbed for a long time. Every so often, a branch reaches out over the path. Its thin fingers cross above you, and your face passes through a small patch of shadow, then back into light. Shadow, light, shadow, light. The pattern is gentle, like someone slowly opening and closing their hand. On the field side, the ground falls away just slightly, enough that you can sense the openness without having to look. The air feels wider there. You can almost feel the cool space resting against the side of your body, like a quiet companion walking without footsteps. Your thoughts, if they appear, feel like those small stones on the path. You notice them underfoot, a little unevenness, a tiny shift, and then your weight rolls past, and they're behind you. They don't cling. They don't follow. You don't need to decide what any of them mean. They can be just shapes in the dust, scattered and ordinary, left where they are. Breath moves in you as steadily as your steps. In. A slight swell in the chest, in the belly. Out. A soft release, like dust settling after a footstep. At some point, you realize you're no longer quite sure where your body ends and the night begins. Your shoulders feel as if they might be made of the same cool air that touches them. Your legs feel like extensions of the path itself, moving only because the lane has decided to flow a little. The boundary between skin and air has gone fuzzy, like the way the moonlight doesn't stop at the edge of a leaf, but spills a little beyond it, blurring the outline. Even the idea of you walking starts to loosen. There is walking, there is path, there is night. They all blend together, like three threads twisted into one soft rope. You pass a small bend where the forest leans in closer. For a few steps, the trees feel almost near enough to touch. Their presence is thick and quiet, like a held breath. Then they fall back again, giving you more sky. Every so often, a thin mist crosses the path. You walk through it, and it cools your cheeks, your forehead, the bridge of your nose. It feels like walking through a thought that never quite formed, a question that never needed an answer. Behind you, the path disappears into shadow. Ahead of you, it continues in the same easy curve, always just enough visible to take one more slow step. You don't have to see far. You only ever need the next small patch of pale dust, the next place for your foot to land. Time here is not measured in minutes. It's measured in the soft press of each step, in the tiny sounds of grit shifting, in the way your breath rises and falls without any effort from you. If a worry tries to appear, it feels strangely out of place, like a loud color in this silver world. It fades quickly, as if the moonlight itself has thinned it out, stretched it until it becomes almost transparent and slips between the trees. You walk on. The path may be circling the forest. It may be leading toward a small house or a gate or nothing at all. It doesn't matter. The walking is enough. The simple, quiet act of moving through this soft silver night. With each step, the sense of being a solid, separate thing dissolves a little more. You become more like the lane itself, a way through, a gentle line between shadows and open ground. Eventually, even the idea of steps begins to blur. The path moves under you, or you move over it. It's hard to say. You float through the moonlit dust without needing to lift a single muscle. Forest, field, sky, path, breath, all of it part of the same slow drifting night. The air around you is thinner now, quieter, as if the world has climbed so high that the usual sounds have stayed somewhere far below. Your body rests where it is, but something softer in you has risen, up and up, into a wide, open sky that has no edges you can see. Above you, there is a nest, not in a tree, not on a ledge, suspended in the open air, held by nothing you can name. It is woven from strands of dusk, from pale threads of cloud, from all the evenings you wished for rest and could not quite reach it. You find yourself there now, curled into this nest in the sky, the way a thought curls in on itself when it is finally done trying to solve anything. The nest has a gentle hollow, shaped exactly to your weight. It receives every curve of you without question. Under you, the weave is soft but sure, like a quiet hand that never tires. There is no ground beneath, no floor, no ceiling, just open air stretching down and down so far that distance stops meaning anything. You are held in this cradle of air, suspended between nowhere and nowhere. And somehow that in-between feels kinder than any place with sharp edges and names. Above, the sky deepens, not dark, not bright. A calm, endless blue that has forgotten the need to change. You can imagine a faint, slow drift, the nest moving almost imperceptibly through the quiet sky, not going anywhere in particular, just floating, because there is nothing pulling it down. Your body, in this nest, grows lighter with each breath. The heaviness that clung to your shoulders loosens, like threads untying themselves. The weight behind your eyes softens, as if someone has turned down a light that was too bright for too long. Thoughts that used to press close now hover at a distance. They are small shapes far below, like tiny rooftops seen from a high window. You can sense them, but they cannot reach you here. In this height, time stretches thin, moments lengthen, then blur at the edges. You might notice a breath beginning, and by the time you think of it again, it has already finished and faded into the air. The nest sways the slightest bit, a slow, almost invisible arc, as if the sky itself is breathing, and you are resting on that breath. There is a gentle coolness against your skin, not cold, just clear, like air that has never been hurried, never been crowded. Around you, small strands of cloud drift past. They move so lazily that it is hard to tell if they are moving at all, or if you are. One of them brushes the edge of the nest like a soft sleeve, then continues on, unbothered, dissolving into the blue. You might notice how the idea of down begins to fade. The usual pull, the usual sense of being pinned to one place, is weaker here. Your arms, your legs, your back, they feel less like separate pieces, more like a single, quiet presence resting in the air. If a thought rises, it does so like a small feather. It appears. It hangs for a moment. Then a slow, invisible breeze carries it away, without effort, without argument. You do not have to sort them. You do not have to follow where they go. The sky holds them all for you somewhere far off. You are simply here, in this woven cradle, feeling how easy it is to be carried. Far below, the world continues in its own way. People moving, lights changing, clocks turning. Up here, none of that asks anything of you. The nest rocks again, the smallest shift. You could almost imagine a vast, gentle hand beneath it, giving the lightest push. Not to send you anywhere, just to remind you that you are floating. Your edges blur a little more. The line where your back meets the nest is hard to find. The border where your skin ends and the cool air begins is softer now, as if the two are learning each other's language. Even your name feels distant, like something written on a paper that has been folded and tucked away. You are here before names, before roles, before plans. Only breath, only weight, becoming less and less important. Only the slow, drifting cradle in the quiet sky. A faint hush surrounds you. Not silence, exactly. More like the sound of everything that could be loud choosing to rest for a while. If you listen closely, you might sense a low, steady hum in the distance. Not from machines, not from voices. A background note, as if the sky itself is singing under its breath. A sound so constant and gentle that it feels like stillness. The nest tilts the tiniest bit, and your body responds without needing to think. Muscles soften, not bracing, just following. Trusting the slow arc, the way a leaf trusts the air it glides through. You are not rising. You are not falling. You are simply suspended in an endless pause, high above the worries that used to feel tall, high above the tangle of what-ifs and what then. Here, even questions grow feather-light. They lose their sharp corners, their urgency. They become pale threads that the nest quietly weaves into its sides, storing them in its gentle structure so you do not have to hold them anymore. The sky deepens another shade, not a change you can measure. More like the feeling of a room growing dim as a lamp is slowly turned down. Your eyelids, whether open or closed, grow heavier than the rest of you. Heavier, and yet somehow you feel more weightless than before. You are allowed to drift in and out of these words, to catch one and then miss the next 10. As if they are distant birds crossing a vast, blue space. Nothing presses on you here. Nothing insists. Only this gentle, endless hovering. This soft hammock of air and cloud and quiet, cradling you high above everything that once felt so close. If sleep begins to rise to meet you, it will come from below, like a slow, pale mist, climbing, curling around the nest, filling the open sky with a softer kind of blue. And as it does, your sense of floating will grow even lighter, until there is no difference between you and the cradle that holds you, between the nest and the sky that carries it. Only one wide, quiet space, weightless, unhurried, drifting in the gentle, endless height. Each exhale carries you a little lower, not down a staircase, not across a distance, just lower inside. As if somewhere within you, an elevator door has quietly closed. Soft walls, dim, steady light, no buttons to push, no floor numbers to watch. The floor beneath you hums with a gentle stillness. It is not moving fast. It is not rushing. It is drifting downward at the exact pace your breathing chooses. The weight of your body knows this motion. Your back, your shoulders, your legs, all of you resting, and yet also descending. The air around you feels like the inside of that elevator. Quiet, contained, held. Every sound outside grows softer, like it is staying on a higher floor, far above where you are going. Thoughts may still appear. They might step in, as if they have caught the elevator at the last second. Old worries, small to-do lists, half-remembered conversations. They arrive. But this elevator does not stop for them. It keeps sinking, gently, steadily, and the thoughts realize there is nowhere for them to go. They ride for a moment, then step back out on some in-between level you no longer visit. You continue down. The numbers that once mattered so much, times, dates, counts, fade from the panel. They blur like chalk in the rain. Soon there is only a soft glow where they used to be. Your breath is the only indicator now. In. The faintest sense of floating up, like a slow, quiet lift. Out. The feeling of dropping through the floor, but in a way that feels natural, like sand settling after a long day of wind. Notice the way your hands rest, the way their weight pulls downward, as if each finger is a small grain sliding through an unseen hourglass, collecting in a gentle mound at the bottom. Nothing is being pulled from you. It is more like gravity is finally getting its way. Tension that used to hold itself up in the air starts to sift down behind your forehead, in your jaw, at the back of your neck. Tiny particles of effort falling through you layer by layer until they reach some quiet ground inside. The elevator continues its slow descent. There is no shudder, no sudden stop, just a deepening sense that the upper stories of your day are far above you now. You might picture those floors if you like. Bright, busy levels where thoughts pace and phones glow and clocks keep checking themselves. You have traveled past them. They are still there, but they no longer concern you. As if the doors have sealed and the sounds can only reach you as the faintest muffled echoes. Down here, in this lowering space, time behaves differently. Minutes do not stack. They drift, like dust motes in a shaft of light, then settle out of sight. Your sense of edges begins to blur. The outline of your body, once so clear, softens. The elevator walls feel closer than your skin. Or perhaps your skin has expanded to meet them. Either way, there is less need to know where you end. Your chest rises. For a moment, you hover at this level. Then the breath leaves and the floor yields again, and you sink. Imagine sand in a tall glass cylinder. At first, it is unsettled, sliding, adjusting, tiny avalanches of grains. Over time, the shifting slows. Spaces between the grains close. Everything finds its place. That is what is happening inside your muscles, inside your thoughts, inside the spaces between one concern and the next. They are all finding their place. They are all sinking to the level that belongs to them, lower than before, quieter than before. You do not have to track this. You do not have to manage it. The descent happens whether you watch it or not. If a thought tries to follow you down, it feels heavier here, too dense, too loud for these lower floors. It lingers at the doorway, then stays behind as the doors close with a soft, final hush. Your breathing is the only conversation now. In, a small, gentle rise. Out, a settling. A downward sigh through the whole elevator shaft of your body. Some layers are familiar. You pass the level of today's worries, the level of yesterday's echoes. They flicker for a moment as you go by, like signs seen through a moving window, then vanish. Other layers feel older, places where your body remembers things your mind has forgotten. Even these begin to loosen, not in a dramatic way. More like old dust shifting when a building grows still at night. The farther you go, the less there is to hold on to. Handles, railings, corners of thought. They all seem less necessary. You may notice that you cannot quite tell where the elevator ends and the shaft begins, where your body ends and the support beneath you begins. Everything is sharing the same downward drift. If sleep has not arrived yet, that is all right. This sinking has its own value. Like sand that takes its time to settle after being stirred, you are allowed to be in motion and still be resting. Your feet sink first, heels pressing into the surface beneath them, then through it, as if the floor is made of soft, endless dust. Calves follow, thighs, hips, each part descending through its own layer at its own pace. Your chest sinks more slowly, like something that has been held up for a long time and is finally learning how to be heavy. Your shoulders drop through their old habits. Your throat descends through the last words of the day, which crumble and fall away. Even behind your eyes, there is a downward pull. Thoughts that once floated near the surface drift deeper, becoming shapes without names, then just gentle weight. Soon, it is as if you are no longer riding the elevator at all. You have become the building. Many stories high, many stories deep. The upper floors can still exist. They can carry the noise and light of other times. But down here, where you are resting now, everything is quiet, concrete, and cool air, and slow, steady settling. Breath by breath, more of you gathers at this depth, like sand finding the lowest part of the glass, like dust finally coming to rest on an undisturbed floor. There is nowhere else to go, nowhere else to be taken. Only this gentle, continuous descent into the softest layer, the one that waits beneath all the others. The room around you grows a little quieter, as if someone, somewhere, has closed a door with care. Sound softens, edges blur. In this hush, a library appears in the dark of your mind, not bright or busy, just rows and rows of quiet shelves stretching gently into the dim. The air here is cool and still. It smells faintly of paper and time and something calm. Each breath moves through this space as if it, too, were turning pages. Somewhere, a single lamp glows low, not harsh, just enough to touch the nearest spines with a soft golden edge. Everything beyond that circle of light is peaceful shadow. Every shelf holds books that feel familiar. Volumes of days and nights, thoughts and worries, hopes and questions, all the pages that have ever turned inside your mind, all the chapters that tried to stay open. Tonight they are growing tired, covers sag a little, pages no longer cling to the air. Even the ink seems ready to rest. You move slowly through the aisles without walking, as if your awareness is simply drifting there between the shelves. No hurry, no task. Some books are thick, their bindings worn from being opened again and again, old stories the mind knows by heart. Others are thin and sharp, like pamphlets of sudden worry. They, too, are here, waiting to be put away. On a small table nearby, a book lies open. Its pages are crowded with sentences that used to feel urgent. Tonight, the words are growing heavy. Lines blur at the edges, like ink softening in gentle rain. You reach out in your thoughts and touch the page. The paper is cool and smooth. It no longer insists on being read. It simply waits. With a slow, quiet motion, the cover is drawn closed. The faint sound it makes is almost nothing. A soft thud of paper meeting paper, a thought coming to rest. Another book waits beside it, a story of what-ifs and almosts. Its spine is bent as though it has been held too long. Even this one is ready to close. You do not have to read to the end. You do not have to remember every line. The book understands. It folds itself shut, as if relieved. One by one, the open volumes of the day gather on that table. Books of conversations, books of plans, books of tiny, forgotten tasks that tried to stay awake. Some are only a few pages long. A stray worry, a single sentence that circled your mind. Even those have their own slim covers. In this quiet library, there is a gentle caretaker, not a person you need to see or imagine, just a steady presence that knows where every book belongs, knows which shelf, which row, which resting place. That presence moves slowly through the aisles, shelving what is finished for now. A book slides into its space with a soft whisper of paper against wood. A gap on the shelf is filled. An unfinished thought is given a place to sleep. You feel how good it is that not everything must be solved tonight. Some volumes can close on a half-read page. A small ribbon of awareness marks the spot. They will be there in the morning, exactly where you left them. The shelves themselves seem to breathe. Wood settling, quiet and patient. They hold so much, and yet they do not strain. They simply stand, bearing the weight with ease. Farther down, in a darker aisle, are the oldest books. Thick, heavy bindings, pages softened at the corners by years of turning. They are already closed. Dust rests lightly along their tops like a thin blanket. No one is asking them to wake. Their stories are known and do not need to be told again tonight. They can remain untouched. Somewhere high above, a clock in the library ticks very softly, not to hurry you, just to mark that time is still moving, even when nothing is being done, even when all that happens is resting. Here, in this archive of thought, nothing is lost. Every idea, every question, every unfinished sentence has a place. It does not need to live in your hands right now. It can live on these shelves instead. The weight of your own body is like a book being returned, placed gently where it belongs, spine aligned, covers easing together. As you breathe out, another cover falls closed somewhere in the stacks, a plan for tomorrow, a memory from long ago. They all find their way back to their quiet homes. The light in the library dims a little more. The lamp's circle of gold grows smaller, softer. Shadows rise like calm water around the lower shelves. Nothing here resists the dark. You are allowed to leave some books unsorted. Allowed to walk away from the table with pages still marked. The caretaker will finish, slowly in the background, long after you have drifted away. A final volume rests under your fingertips in this imagined room. The book of this day. Its last page is almost turned. Only a few words remain. They do not need to be read aloud. They do not even need to be clear. Your eyes in this inner place grow heavy. The lines soften, then fade. With your next exhale, the cover comes down. A quiet, certain close. The book settles into itself, edges aligned, story complete enough for now. It is carried from the table to its shelf, slid gently into place between yesterday and tomorrow. The row accepts it without a sound. Shelves stand, books rest, covers closed, pages still. In this library of night, everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed holding has been set down. The catalogue of the day is finished. All that remains is the soft, endless hush of stacked stories. And somewhere within that hush, you too are shelving yourself, filing your awareness into a quiet corner. Closing your own cover slowly from the edges inward. The lights continue to dim. The aisles blur. Titles fade into a gentle, unreadable dark. Nothing is required now. Only this, a body resting, a mind becoming quiet shelves, and the slow, deep silence of books asleep in the night. And now, there is only this quiet, nothing to solve, nothing to follow, just this soft, slow drifting. If thoughts are still moving, they can do that on their own. You do not have to go with them. You can stay here, right where you are, half awake, almost asleep, or already gone. Every breath knows what to do. In, out, gentle, unhurried. If a feeling rises, it can rise. If it fades, it can fade. You do not need to fix any of it. You have come far enough for tonight. This is a place where even trying can rest. If your mind wants to wander, It can wander in softer circles now, quieter ones. There is nothing you are missing. Everything that needed to be said has already been said. The rest can be silence. You can simply lie here and be exactly as you are, eyes open or heavy or closed. It all belongs. If a thought taps at the edge of your awareness, you can notice it. The way you might notice a sound in another room, present but far away, not asking anything of you. You are here. That is enough. Breath moving, body resting, mind loosening its grip. If you feel yourself drifting, you do not have to follow the words anymore. They can become a soft background, like a faint hum. You no longer listen to. You can turn toward the quiet instead, toward the simple weight of your body, the gentle pull downward, held. Nothing is required of you now, not even listening. If you stay awake a little longer, that is all right. You can float in this in-between, where time doesn't matter very much, where each breath is its own small world, rising, falling. And if sleep comes, it can come quietly, without announcement, without effort, like a slow dimming, like a room growing softer as the light fades. The words are thinner now, fewer. They do not need to carry you anywhere. They are only here so you do not feel alone, on the edge of your own quiet. Soon, even they will rest. For now you can feel how still everything is becoming, how the spaces between sounds grow wider, how your thoughts move more slowly through them. You have reached a kind of hush inside yourself, familiar even if you only touch it for a moment. It will be here. Whenever you return, you can soften around the edges of this moment, around the edges of yourself. Nothing sharp, nothing urgent, just a gentle blurring into rest. If sleep is here, you can sink. If it is not, you can simply float. Both are a kind of peace. My voice is growing quieter now, further away, like something you once listened to closely and now only hear from a distance. You can let it fade whenever you're ready, or not even notice. The moment it disappears, just breathing, just resting, just this soft, open night. And now you can drift the rest of the way on your own.